So if the roadmap is anything to go by, 2020 is going to be an amazing year for LBRY. So today I just want to talk about some of the goals on it and I guess some of my thoughts on them. So if you're new to the channel, you know what to do and let's jump right into it. So I'm not going to be going like super in depth into every single point because there's a lot on this list, but I guess I'll give my brief rundown on everything that I think is kind of important to talk about. So the first thing we have on here is creator analytics and reporting. So creators must receive prompt, regular, and useful reports about how their content is performing and behaving on the LBRY network. Now I know that this is already in the works. At least someone started on a third-party tool for this. They've actually taken basically the LBRY API, pulled in all the data, and then it lists out like your views and tips on those videos and a bunch of other useful stuff. Now that's all cool and stuff, but the other stuff I would like to see is, I guess, how much my sub growth has gone up, because there's just literally no way to see that. Unless you keep track of your sub growth manually, you can't see that. You can, I guess, get a little bit off of LBRYnomics, but once again, that's still a bit of a hassle and you have to do that yourself. And there's other stuff like the view counts. There's no way to track how well your views are doing unless you manually track the videos yourself, and your tips and your tip growth and your supports and all of this stuff. In the current interface of LBRY, there's literally no way to do this unless you just do it manually yourself. This is one of the things that I think is stopping a lot of creators coming over. Obviously, you also have the viewer base, but that's growing very, very quickly right now. But not being able to see how well your content's doing, I think is a serious problem, especially as a creator. So the next thing we have in here is decentralized organization. So LBRY as a protocol is decentralized, but its organization is still fairly centralized. So that's the team that actually runs LBRY. LBRY itself is a company, and then you've also got the LBRY protocol. So what they want to do is have a community-owned non-profit which will increase the stakeholders that care about LBRY and gives a name, place, and framework for anyone who wants to build on or with LBRY. It also reduces potential conflicts of interest LBRY may face in terms of community organization and community management. So this is more like a management thing. Now, this has been in the works for a while and it's kind of fallen apart and then been rebuilt again and fallen apart and rebuilt again. Now, I'm not sure how well it's actually going. I haven't really been paying attention to the, I guess, community management, at least from the, I guess, community side. I've been looking more about how the team's been handling it. So hopefully this will address some of those problems if we get, I guess, good leadership actually running this team. Now, I can think of some people who really shouldn't have anything to do with this team, and I really hope they don't end up actually getting involved with it, but we'll see how that ends up going. This next one is really big. So LBRY-first publishing. So as you guys know, if you've watched my videos on LBRY, I sync from YouTube. Now, I do this because it's just easier for me. I can upload on YouTube, then it goes out to LBRY, and it goes out to BitTube, and it goes out to anywhere else that I want it to go out to. So what LBRY wants to do is actually reverse this process. So they don't want to completely eliminate the YouTube uploading because YouTube is still a good source of revenue for a lot of people, and it allows LBRY to actually pull in audiences that they wouldn't have access to normally. So what they want to do is make it so you can upload on LBRY and then they will actually upload the video to YouTube for you. Now, I'm not going to be participating in the beta for this because I want my videos uploaded exactly when I have them scheduled. So if I could schedule them before and then maybe have them so they upload at a certain point that I want them to, maybe that'll work. But I'm not going to be participating straight away. I'll leave that to some other channels. So the goals for success for this one are creators who publish to LBRY first instead of other platforms are identified, encouraged, and rewarded. So I guess there'll be some sort of reward system if you do upload on LBRY first. So if you are a LBRY first publisher right now, I guess that's kind of cool for you. Or if you're a new creator and you, I guess, want to start on a platform, maybe starting on LBRY is a good idea. I'm not really sure. So a creator enrolled in the YouTube program can publish to LBRY first and have that content deployed to YouTube later, and at least 25% of those who sign into LBRY TV do so. So the LBRY apps support optional transcoding when creators supply videos that may not perform well without modification. Now this is another big one. I don't know why this is just a random third point on here. Transcoding should be like a massive goal. Because one of the problems we have on LBRY right now is a lot of people will upload content that they don't really bother to transcode. Now the problem with this is that LBRY doesn't handle transcoding. So what will end up happening is you'll have these 10-minute videos, for example, that are like 4 gigs in size. Now the problem with this is that unless you have some ridiculous connection, you're not streaming this. And that's a problem. So you can just download the video on library, but most people want to watch the video when they want to watch it. They don't want to have to download it and then come back to it later. So once transcoding is actually introduced into the platform, I think this will really make it a better experience for the viewers. So I've talked about this one before, and passwords are a serious problem with library. So the way that you actually sign in right now is you have to get an email verification code, which is really, really inconvenient. So what they want to do is actually integrate passwords. So the other thing that comes along with this is also the way they handle wallets. So a success goal for this one is that users have a reasonable user experience to convert between a wallet that is fully theirs, so library will have no copy of it, or you can have library has an encrypted copy but they have no password reset, or you can have your wallet shared with the library, depending on how you want to handle this. Now, obviously the safest method, if you don't want to have any chance of anyone else accessing your wallet, is to just have the wallet on your computer. But a lot of people are going to like the convenience of being able to just move their wallet from device to device with the library sync. So there will be a lot of people who use this third option. Now, I'm not going to tell you which of these options is the best, but it is nice that by the end of Q1, we should actually have these all as an option. Okay, so now we're on to Q2. So commenting was introduced in 2019, and right now it's an absolute mess. So let's just actually have a look at some of the comments on my channel, not on my actual videos, because I don't want to find a video that has this problem. So let's go to channels, we go to my channel, and if we go to comments, just have a look at this. I follow you, and you follow me back. I follow you, follow me, I follow you. All of these just mess of comments. There's some good ones on here as well. Follow me, me follow, instant I will follow you back. I think you get the point. There's a lot of these people who are posting absolute garbage comments, and I want us to have some way to actually, I guess, maintain these. So the problem is there's absolutely no way for the creator to actually moderate their comments. So the success goals for this are: expected traditional commenting features exist, including but not limited to editing, replying, and notifications. Editing is already available. Replying you can't really do just yet. Notifications isn't obviously there. So resolve tensions between where ultimate control of comment display resides via discussion with community. How do we allow the community to police bad actors without these tools also being usable by bad actors to prevent helpful comments? Now, I'm not really sure how we're going to handle this, because I do think it's important to be able to delete comments, but if someone is actually, say, a scammer, for example, I'm not going to say who, we have a couple of them who are quite big on the platform right now, I don't think they should just be able to delete all the comments saying, hey, you should probably stop scamming people, but we also need the ability to be able to, I guess, delete comments that are saying, hey, follow me, I'll follow you. Just garbage comments like that. I'm not really sure what the good middle ground is there, so I think it's probably best to just have people to be able to delete comments, but I really don't know what the best way to handle that is. And the next thing is to move the comments into the actual library protocol. So right now they're on a layer above the protocol in the application layer, I believe. Someone correct me if I'm wrong on that. The next thing is also a really big one. So right now my process for actually exchanging LBC is an absolute mess. So the way you have to do it right now, at least if you're trying to get into Australian dollars, so let's go from the library wallet. So it's from my library wallet, I go from that into Bittrex, I go in Bittrex from BTC to LBC, then I send the LBC to something like CoinSpot, and then I can sell the LBC into Australian dollars. And that's a massive process that no one wants to go through. So what they want to do is have a much easier process for this. So maybe a user can acquire varying amounts of LBC via flows that begin in the library app. So similar to how BitTube does it, how you can actually, obviously not in the exact same way, but in BitTube, you can actually buy your tubes within their actual plugin thing. So something like that integrated into the library app would be really, really useful. So being able to buy and sell within the app would make it not just easier for creators to actually get paid, but easier for viewers to actually buy tips to pay creators. So the next thing we have in here is iOS. So iOS has been talked about for a while, and there hasn't been a ton of work put into it because Apple's a little weird about crypto wallets. So at some point in this year, hopefully Q2, they say they want to have at least a basic library client. Now, I'm not sure if this goal is going to be hit or if they just make it so you have an app that I guess is a wrapper around the website or what they're planning to do. So really, this is a a hopeful goal, but I'm not too confident this one's going to actually happen. So the next one we have is alternative monetization. So the problem that LBRY has right now is that basically the way you get paid is from a pre-mine of the LBC coins. Now the problem with this is this will eventually run out. So we need some sort of alternative monetization platform, and their plan is they do want to integrate ads, but they're going to be optional. With the LBC exchange, then you can also have things like paid subscriptions and paid membership and things like that. So right now there's already ads on LBRY TV for users who aren't logged in, but what they want to do is if you have paid content, for example, then you can actually watch an ad to pay for that content rather than having to pay LBC directly. So that's a nice, I guess, different way to handle it. I'm not sure how good of an idea it is. I'm not personally against advertisements. I know there's a lot of people who are very, very wary against them, but because LBRY has a pre-mine, they have to do something. A tipping culture will not keep this platform maintainable once the pre-mine actually runs out. So, yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. It's very much going to depend on how they actually implement it. Now, the next thing we have is a stronger data network. So, the problem that you have on every single torrenting platform or every single torrent-based platform is that there's going to be content that nobody bothers to seed. And this is a serious problem because on YouTube, for example, I can go back and watch something from 2006. If it's still on YouTube, I can watch it. If in 13 years nothing's handled with LBRY and I go back and try to watch something from 2020, it's probably not going to be watchable. So they want to have some way to actually reward people for actually seeding content. So you could utilize disk space provided by users proactively and offer rewards for this. And a bunch of other stuff like this, and you can have like different hosting setups, form partnerships with data providers in some countries. All of this stuff will make LBRY really, really strong, and it'll make it so people can actually watch content. And it's not just with old content. There's a lot of new content that people post natively that is very difficult to watch because no one's bothered to seed it. Some of it's good content, some of it's garbage content, but all of the content that's on the platform should be watchable. If it's not watchable, it just shouldn't be available, basically. So the next thing we have is cheater performance. So LBRY's gotten a lot quicker, but there's a lot of stuff they want to still work on, like making it so for all broadband users, LBRY TV stream start times and buffering events are comparable to sites like YouTube and Vimeo. I don't know how possible this is. I'm guessing it's possible, the fact that they have it on there, but we'll see how that goes. And there's a bunch of other stuff in here about making it so when you actually use LBRY, it feels like a traditional website. The problem with a lot of blockchain-based websites and just blockchain-y technologies in general is a lot of them are very, very slow, but they have been getting better. I don't know how good they can become. This is something that's getting worked on, and it has been getting better, and judging by the fact that this goal is on here, I don't think we're hitting some theoretical limit anytime soon. So we'll see how this goes, basically. So next up, we have creator-owned relationships. So on platforms like YouTube, Facebook, and all of them, the relationship between the creator and fan is owned by the platform. If possible at all, a creator can only engage directly with her fans by taking steps to circumvent the platform itself. So currently it's the same on LBRY, but they want to actually change this. So they want to make it so if the viewers of a channel actually consent to sharing their email, then that email can be shared with the creator. Or for example, if you want to share some personal details with the creator, then all of this can be done. And they want to make it so you don't have to go through LBRY to actually interact with your fans. Now, I think this is a really, really good idea because the video platform should be there as a video platform. If you want to move your interactions with your fans to somewhere else, you should be able to do that. The video platform shouldn't be just tying you down to one place. So I'm really happy that LBRY is doing this. Now, I personally don't really have any plans to move my interactions anywhere else. I've already got my established social media. If you want to follow me there, then feel free to do that. But anything that I want to do related to LBRY is going to remain on LBRY, and anything related to YouTube is going to remain on YouTube. But I know that some people do want to set up things like email mailing lists and various other things like that. So having this option there when you actually do agree to share that information with the creator is actually really cool. And then the last thing we have on here is improved content discovery. Now, I feel like I've personally had a hand in actually getting this onto the roadmap. So if you don't know, the way LBRY works right now, to get onto trending, pretty much you just pay money, which is a horrendous idea. And I understand that having a trending algorithm is very, very difficult. And I know this is something that really needs to be worked on, but in its current state, literally all you have to do is just buy a bunch of LBC. So if you pay like, say, 100k LBC, I think that's $20,000 right now. I might be wrong there. There might be an extra zero added onto that. Whatever it is. So if you buy 100,000 LBC, that will basically put you on trending. And the problem with this is that as LBC gets more and more expensive, if I don't sell off my LBC now, I will have this massive supply and new people will come in and have like a couple hundred LBC, and then I can just completely destroy their trending ability, basically. So I know it's a very difficult problem to fix, and I know that there's a lot of work that needs to be done in this. So hopefully by the end of the year, something can be done so we have maybe not just a proper trending algorithm, because I know that's very difficult, but maybe something that's not entirely based on how much money you have. Maybe it's based on viewership, maybe it's based on content interaction and comments and things like that. So I'm not really sure how you would go about doing this. I'm not really into the development side of library, but I do think it's something that should be worked on, and it is going to be worked on over the year. So even though this is a Q4 goal, it's going to be improved over the year. So this one's a Q4 goal, and what was the other Q4 goal? The cheater performance. So both the performance and the discovery goals are Q4 goals, just because they're not going to be done until the end of the year. But even so, they're still going to be slowly improved as the year improves. So before I end the video, I just wanted to leave you with how the CEO of LBRY actually feels about the current state of trending. So let's just have a look at that video.
We're aware that if you click automotive, this is junk, okay? Whoever you are, 4B hack, I don't like you, okay? And we're gonna make it so that you leave and stop making our platform not be as cool as it could be. All right, you suck. Everyone who does this sucks. We don't like you, and we're gonna fix it, all right?
I couldn't have said that any better myself. So if you liked this video, remember to smash the like button and leave me a comment down below letting me know what you think. If you want to see more videos like this, remember to subscribe and ding the little bell icon down below, because it'll really help the channel out. I'm now aiming for 10,000 subs, and any help be really appreciated. Up on that corner, I've got the playlist that this video's in, so go check that out if you want to see other videos like this. Down below, I've got my social links, so if you want to see my Discord and my Telegram and all of that stuff, go check those out. I've also got my support links down below, so that's my Patreon and a couple other methods to support the channel, so feel free to use any of those. And lastly, down below, I have got my alternate video platform. So obviously, I've got my library, but I also have my BitTube, so feel free to use any of those. So I think that's pretty much everything for me, and I'm out.